Cloudflare is kind of a security company for the next 10 years. They're the cloud-based model. They use what's called edge computing. I'm more familiar with a company called Fastly that's more of an edge computing play. But Cloudflare uses edge computing to protect against cybersecurity breaches. They say their network handles about 650 million internet queries daily. So the whole premise of edge computing is to bring the access points closer to the end users. Cloudflare has access points at over 200 cities throughout the world, and they claim that 99% of internet users are close enough that they can access the network within 0.1 seconds or less. That's pretty impressive network. They offer sort of a freemium model. They have a free tier of service that they offer to kind of get people in the door, which has proven to be a very effective customer acquisition strategy. Their professional services are very affordable, actually. They start at $20 a month. For business plans, they start at $200, which compared to some of these other cybersecurity plays is pretty low. So it's been a very effective model. Their revenue's grown at over a 50% annualized rate since 2016. It's a pretty impressive rate to keep up for that long. The net dollar retention, meaning that they're expanding, they're upselling their customers, has been in the 115% to 120% range consistently. It was 119% at the end of last year. So they're doing a great job of, it's kind of the land and expand business model. They're getting people in the door with their free and kind of lower cost subscriptions, doing a great job of upselling them. So just to kind of tell you what that means, 119% means that, the average customer who was spending $100 last year is now spending $119. Sort of is kind of the best way I could describe that metric. The CEO is still the co-founder, the CEO is the co-founder of the business, still has a pretty sizable stake, around 12%. And this kind of jumps ahead to one of Anand's questions down the list. But one of the most impressive statistics I saw was that they said in 2018, their addressable market was about $32 billion in size. They expect the cybersecurity market that they can address directly to grow to $100 billion by 2024. That was probably the most impressive statistic, is just how quickly this market's growing and how many winners there could be out of this list. So, Tim, what'd I miss?
Yeah, you covered a lot of it. By the way, I just have to say, I don't know when you moved to Winterfell, Matt, but look at that behind you. That's like amazing. That's full on Game of Thrones back there. I love that.
That's the Hammer of Thor, and this is not my house, by the way.
I love it.
I'm in a co-working space. Normally, I'm in front of the warrior mindset sign that's over there.
Nice.
Got it.
Nice. No, it just screamed Winterfell to me there for a second. But anyway, no, I think you covered most of it. The main thing about Cloudflare is that they basically, the right way to think about Cloudflare is they put you on their network. Essentially what they do, they've done with a simple line of code, they say, look, when somebody wants to look you up, they're going to look you up through us. We're going to give you a DNS identifier, a domain name, a domain name identifier. And so if somebody wants to get to you, they come through us, they come through our network, and we administer that. And so what that does, it means the most common attack on any type of website is what's called a distributed denial of service attack. Basically, you take a whole bunch of zombie computers and all they're doing is they're essentially doing the computer equivalent of throwing themselves against the walls of the network until the walls break. Just constant requests, just boom, 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 hit it. And the Cloudflare network is so big and so used to this that they just deflect these attacks. They swat them away. And so when you're behind that wall and that wall doesn't come down, you're protected. That's the genesis of the Cloudflare model. And these points of presence, the content delivery network upon which this was built is sort of a byproduct, but just a better way to do security from the Cloudflare point of view. And so where it's similar to Fastly is Fastly does some security too. It's not the same type of thing. Where this is different is what Fastly's doing is what tends to be called a web application firewall, meaning something comes in, a company looks you up, and an IP address is coming in. We look at that IP address and say, is that IP address okay? And if it's not, and if the traffic coming through feels suspicious, we shut the pipe. Boom, that's it. And no more. And we do that entirely through the network. Cloudflare can do that too. There's some other intelligence Fastly puts into its environment, but both of these ideas are good ideas. Now, it's not the only way to do cloud security, but it's a way to do cloud security, and Cloudflare is really good at it. So yeah, I think you got it, Matt. That the basic idea of, hey, you know what? Don't go on the internet, on your own. Get a bodyguard. That's us. That's Cloudflare.